Forget everything you think you know about going online. We're about to step into a different kind of world, a digital coliseum. Think of it like a live audio-only spot where words are literally weapons and legends or enemies are made overnight. People call it the trenches, and we're about to spend a night right there in the middle of it. Yeah, that's a taste of where we're headed tonight. No context, no warning, just that raw, uncut hostility that basically defines this whole space. So let's unpack how we even got to a point like that. You know, it always starts with a tiny spark. It could be anything, a simple disagreement, a misunderstanding, someone defending their friend. But in the trenches, Van, that's all it takes to light an inferno that just burns down the whole room. And tonight was no exception.
So first up tonight, we got the main event. In one corner, a user named Larry, and in the other, Moochie. And what were they beefing about? An artist named Paris. It all started with a simple debate over who was really supporting her music. But trust me, things don't stay simple in here for long.
And just like that, boom, the rails are completely off. We go from talking about music streams to these deep, personal shots about somebody's mother. See, in this world, there are no rules of engagement. Any weakness they think you have, that becomes a target. This isn't about winning an argument anymore. It's about tearing the other person down piece by piece.
You gotta understand what's going on here. This ain't just about an opinion. This is a fierce territorial defense. It's like, in this space, loyalty to an artist is like loyalty to your set, to your block. You defend your turf, you promote your people, and you go at anybody who questions it. The message is crystal clear. Don't you dare speak on this artist unless you're putting in the work yourself.
But here's the thing. The battle, it doesn't just stay digital. The threats people make in these rooms, they're designed to bleed right into the real world. And this is where everything changes. This is where it gets terrifyingly real. And suddenly, the stakes are just raised to a whole other level. I mean, the weapon of choice isn't just insults anymore. Now, it's a phone call. A phone call to Immigration and Customs Enforcement. The threat of getting somebody deported becomes the ultimate trump card in a war of words. And look how they frame it. It's presented like some cold, calculated business move. They lay it all out like a strategy, a simple three-step process. They're actually claiming there's a financial incentive, turning a human being's entire life into a get-rich-quick scheme. $1,000. That's the price tag they're allegedly putting on a person's life in the United States. The argument has completely broken down into a bounty hunt. The speaker's not even ashamed. They're framing it like it's a legitimate hustle, a way to get a whole lot of money. And then comes the final blow, the boast. This isn't just some empty threat they're throwing around. The speaker is claiming a body count. 6 people, 6, already deported because of their calls. They're not just threatening to do it, they're claiming a proud history of it, and they're ready to add one more to the list.
But see, threatening someone's legal status isn't the only way this stuff spills out into the real world. Nah. Sometimes the talking just isn't enough. In a whole different situation, the arguments left the phone screen and ended up in a park, and it was time for some action. So the story goes down like a scene from right off the block. You got Dylan, he steps to Don, talking real tough. Don, he's calm, he gives the man multiple chances to walk away. He keeps asking, are you sure you want to do this? But Dylan, he keeps pressing. And then the slap. One single hard slap that sends Dylan stumbling back. The fight is over before it even starts. Dylan takes off running, and that's when you see Don chasing him with a pair of scissors he came armed with.
So what's the moral of the story for everybody watching this unfold? Well, for them, this wasn't just a beatdown. Nah, it was a lesson. It was a necessary dose of reality for somebody who talks a little too much online. A brutal, physical reality check to remind you that your words, they have consequences. And just when you think the night can't possibly get any stranger, the whole script flips. The arguments about loyalty and violence, they morph into this high-stakes, deeply personal, and frankly bizarre debate about relationships, money, and, well, teeth.
So this new fire gets started by the music executive Wack 100, and he calls out another man in the room, not for something he said, not for something he did, but for his partner's teeth. He frames the whole thing as a failure of investment, that it's a man's duty to financially upgrade his woman's appearance.
Now to get this, you gotta understand the slang they're using. Build-A-Bear. It's this whole idea that a man should take his partner and, just like that toy store, add on parts and upgrades, new breasts, new teeth, a new smile, to perfect the final product. Why?
because her appearance is a direct reflection of him. And then the debate gets a first-hand witness. Wack's own partner, R&B, jumps in and confirms the whole thing. She admits he paid for her braces to fix an overbite she never even saw as a problem. And she says, yeah, she was uncomfortable at first, but then she came to see it as an upgrade. She even got mad at her exes for not offering to enhance her. So this is what it all boils down to. On one side, you got this belief that a man invests in his woman's appearance because she's a reflection of him. And on the other side, the argument that it's just disrespectful to try and fix someone who never asked for it in the first place. It's a raw, public dissection of their most private lives, all for sport. All right, so the night's winding down, the battles have been fought, the lines have been drawn, but after witnessing all this chaos, you kind of got to pull back and ask a real fundamental question about the world we just visited. What is this place, really? Is it just entertainment? Is it some kind of twisted group therapy? Or is it maybe just a darker, more honest reflection of the world we're all living in anyway? What makes people engage in this level of brutal, high-stakes conflict, night after night? After just one night, you start to see the code, right? It's a sport where the goal is to verbally crush your opponent. It's a place where your words can get someone deported or get you chased through a park. It's a public confessional where your private business becomes everybody's entertainment. And at the end of the day, it's a kingdom where the only things that matter are who you ride for and how much attention you can command. Look, don't make the mistake of thinking this is just some little niche thing on the internet. It's a reflection of an increasingly hostile digital world where everybody's got a platform and everybody's got a microphone. And as we've seen tonight, in these rooms, every single voice is a weapon. The only question is, who's aiming at you?